Okay, well, good morning. Hey, thanks for all for making the time. Those on the West Coast early up, so that you can get things started. It'll be the best use of your time. Make sure you got the notes out. So I'm going to do a little review, but today's focus is going to be on disciplined daily habits. Okay, we started with the goals piece. Now we're going to really figure out, okay, what do you have to do to achieve those goals? Okay, and again, reiterating some of these quotes. I'll always have this slide up because I want ruthless repetition on remembering the why of personal growth. Why do you grow? Because you can't give what you don't have. Okay, you can't give what you don't have. And the new quote I had down there is by Charles Duhigg: "Is the key to victory is creating the right routines." And that's what disciplined daily habits are. They're routines. They're boring sometimes, and sometimes they're monotonous. But so is the compounding effect until it takes off. Okay, and you have to start, be consistent, and give it time to grow. It's not going to happen overnight. So with that, let's do a little quick smarter goals review from the last couple of weeks, right? So again, smarter goals are those goals that are very specific. You write it in extensive detail. They're measurable. It compels you to action. They have to be realistic and relevant to what you want to do, what your capabilities are, and what you're wanting to achieve. They have to be bound by time, because if not, then that one law of the Parkinson's law takes over, where if you give whatever time you give a task, that's the time it will take. So if you give yourself a year, you're going to take a year. Let's compound it down into a shorter amount of time and get you moving. And then you always have to have the evaluate and then readjust. And so if you remember last week, we gave some examples, and example number 3 was the smarter goal example, where I want to achieve rank of Visionary 600 no later than 30 July. That is specific. You can measure that. I can take action of that if I want to get to that rank. It is realistic because it's 12 people, right? 12 people. It's bound by time, 30 July. I can evaluate myself every week using the weekly accountability meeting, the WHAM we discussed. And then I readjust accordingly, right? 2 weeks ago, I told you that I wasn't doing good on the calls. I wasn't good on reaching out. So I had to readjust myself this week. And I followed Al Franklin's example. I started with my A's, and I went through all my A's yesterday. And then I figured out 15 other people that I had to call. So I took an hour in the morning to go through my A's, and I took an hour in the afternoon before dinner, and I knocked out those 15 calls. Now, not everybody answered, but here's a technique that I started using. And this is just a quick hack, and some of you might use this. Instead of leaving a voice message, which you could, I went back, instead of sending them a text message, I sent them a text audio message so that they can see it faster. Now, you can only do that iPhone to iPhone. If it's Samsung, I can't do it. But I prefer the audio text message because they hear my voice. They can hear my excitement, and they know it's me instead of maybe some crazy verbiage that they might not know if they're being hacked or not. So just a thought there, a little quick hack for y'all this morning. Okay, then we went into how do you mind your business through that goal. That Visionary 600 takes 4, 4, and 4. And the example is used is if I had 1 in each lane, then the milestones by lane is I needed 3 in each lane, which required me to have 9. I knew who my key builders are in each of those lanes. And so for this weekly target, it was 12 that I needed. So out of those 12 weeks, so I can get 1 per week and I can achieve my goal. Well, what does that take? So to build a game plan is, and I use Richard as the example, is to get his 3 for free. And if he gets his 3 for free, it would require all those calls to get people on, probably 3 per week, no kidding, conversations. It's not leaving a message. It's not sending a text message. It's not, hey, maybe I got something to talk to you about. No, it's no kidding conversations about what we bring and the potential that our business has. And then that would require me to send 30 messages to get to those 3 calls. But those 3 calls and sending 6 messages daily can get me to that overall goal in 12 weeks, or at least can get Richard to that. And then I do the same thing with Oliver. I do the same thing with Dwaylen. And if I do that and they get 3 for free, I have my 9. So you see, it's something that Al and Ryan were talking about Thursday night too. It's leverage. It's the team effort. And Ryan talked about this on Tuesday. You know, when he talked about the 200 and the Eagles that you're looking for, I don't need 40 personals right away. I just need the right personals so that I can leverage and we can help each other out. Now, Could I do that and hustle that? Yeah, I probably could, but I do have a full-time job, so I have to be realistic in the time that I have. But I'm going to do the best that I can to give to my team so that I can help them achieve that. Right? So we have the smarter goal. We have how to break down those goals. Now let's look at, okay, what are those disciplined daily habits that will allow me and enable me to achieve those goals? Okay, so the habits question, or the question to ask about habits is, what will I do on a daily basis? It's disciplined daily habits. What will I do? How do you compound your success? It's one day at a time. It's absolutely one day at a time. It's not, I'm going to push hard on Monday, I'm going to take Tuesday, Thursday off, and then I'm going to start again on Friday. No, it's a little bit compounding every single day consistently. Okay. There was a study done by Marshall Goldsmith. He's pretty big, and Skip probably knows him. He's pretty big in the coaching industry, and he wrote a book called "The Way We're Working, It's Not Working." And what he studied there was the habits, energy management habits of the top performers. And for 10 years, he studied what was the difference in the habits of concerto violinist, someone who just knows how to play the violin, and a music teacher. And what he found is somebody who just has the talent to play the violin, they would do it a couple hours here, a couple weeks there. They leave it alone for a couple of months, maybe even a year, and then they get back into it. They just have this natural talent. They can do it. The music teachers were a little more focused. They would do it maybe hard on Monday and Tuesday, leave it alone, go again a couple of days. Sometimes they would do uber discipline and then not. The concerto violinist did what he called Altrudian sprints. They took 90-minute fully focused sessions, and they put away all distractors, and all they did was practice hard for 90 minutes. And then they took a break, 15 to 20-minute break. And that meant that they got away from the instrument. They got away from it. They went for a walk. They did a quick workout. They called somebody, whatever. And then they hit it again for 90 minutes and did another sprint and took a break. Then they did it again for 90 minutes. And they might do 3 or 4 of these sprints a day, okay? So what does that mean for our business? Well, maybe that's your power hour. Maybe that's the power hour, 60 minutes or 90 minutes, that you go hard without distractions to make the calls you gotta make, send the messages you gotta send, talk to the people that you gotta talk to. Okay, Brian Carruthers has a breakdown of 25, 25, 25, and 25. He spends 25% of his time, which is about 2 hours a day, on income producing activities only. He spends 25% of his time on his team and building his leaders. He spends 25 minutes of his time on content, and he spends 25 minutes on time of future aspects of things. So that's how kind of breaks up his day. That's his disciplined daily habit to do that, because you have to have some type of focus without distractions so that you can have the compounding effect take place. And then one other story here, I call it Lear's rest lesson. Rest, R-E-S-T. A mentor and future or former boss of mine, John Lear, he was always going at a high rate. He was in special operations, an amazing leader, and I was watching him at times, and I would see him, and he was never tired. He was always good to go. He was always on when he had to be on. He took breaks when he had to take breaks, and he just seemed to be just on the money every time he did things. And I asked him, like, so what do you do to maintain that type of proficiency? He goes, I rest every day. And he says, I read at least 20 minutes a day. I exercise, I sleep, and I think. Those are the 4 things he does every single day. Those were his disciplined daily habits, right? So as we go through this and think through this, maybe there's an acronym that you can come up with. But what are your disciplined daily habits? And I'm gonna give you some ideas here in just a second. Because, hey, look, a habit, according to Webster, is an acquired behavior pattern regularly followed until it has become almost involuntary. You just do it, okay? It just comes natural. You don't even think about it, and it just goes into motion, and you keep doing it, right? But it has to be the right habit, because, oh, by the way, it can be bad as well. If you're not doing the right things, then that just compounds negatively as much as it can positively, okay? And the habits are a matter of priority. If you show me your calendar, your checkbook, I'll tell you your priorities, right? Show me your calendar, your checkbook. and I'll show you your priorities. Okay. And that could even mean, well, I don't even use my calendar. Exactly. I can show you your priorities. That means you don't know how to manage your time. All right. Because you don't even have something to manage your time, whether it's electronically, whether it's on paper, old school way, whether it's a combination of both, you have to manage your time properly. Okay. So let's look at a way. Okay. And here's what I encourage you to do. Okay. You know, some people have told me, it's like, I don't know how you're so uber focused on these habits. It's 25 years of practice. It's my way. It's my personality. I'm going to show you a way. What I want you to do is think about what you like, discard what you don't, and make it your own. Okay. Because you're going to have to do some thinking on your own on what your disciplined daily habits are. Maybe you already have it all figured out. Maybe your disciplined habits are good and just a little tweak here and there. You might have some ideas. Or maybe this is what you need and it might not be your own, but you need a starting place, a foundational place where you can start from and make it better. Okay. So I start with a morning habit. Okay. What time do you wake up? How do you start every day? Is your body regulated at what time it wakes up? He's like, I just get up whenever. I don't get up with an alarm clock. Yeah, that's fine. My body's my alarm clock because for 25 years, I've been waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Okay. My alarm clock goes off at 4:30 and I'm rocking at 5. Okay. That's me. That's what I have to do that. I'm a morning person. Okay. Because it helps get my mind, body, heart, and soul primed for success. And so what are some ideas to do in the morning habits? I got to get my coffee. Right? Do that first, but I also do about 20 ounces of water to get my body primed as well. And then I do my jam time. That's my Jesus and me time. Okay. I got to have my quiet time with God to fuel my soul, fuel my faith, because God's going to tell me all the people I'm going to have to deal with today. And if I don't, I'm not going to be in the right mind. My heart's not going to be in the right place. And I'll probably say some stuff that I don't want to say. Right. And then after I work out, hey, look, I don't spend hours in the gym. Sorry. I hit it and quit it. 20, 45 minutes, I'm done. Okay. I work out because it's healthy and I want to be playing with my grandkids someday. So that's why I keep doing it. Okay. Lori, she said when I was going to retire, she's like, hey, when you retire from the Army, are you going to let yourself go? I'm like, really? For 25 years, it's a habit. I just can't, can't do that. So, and then I eat a healthy breakfast and I stay up with that consistent wake up time because it regulates my body. I use an alarm, but I really don't need one because my body starts waking up right around 4:30. Okay. And so what are the outcomes? It allows me to prepare my mind, my spirit, my body before tackling the daily challenges because the challenges will come. Okay. In the book of James, it says, count of joy when you face various trials. It's not if you're going to face trials, it's when you face them. Question, are you ready? Are you ready to face the day with your morning habit so that you're prepared, focused, and ready to go? Okay. And so this morning habit that I do is about self-care. It's self-leadership. Okay. It's not about anybody else. Now, other people are going to benefit from it because I'm in a good state. But my morning habits are about self-care and self-leadership so that I can give to others. Okay. And then I get into my work habit. So how do you prepare for success and wins before starting to quote unquote work? Whether it's a 9-to-5 job, whether it's your full-time job, whether it's part-time on your fortune, how do you prepare for success? Because it requires preparation. Success isn't just going to happen. Success doesn't happen by mistake. They take habits and preparation. Okay. What repeatable habits do you do to grow yourself and your business, etc.? So here's some ideas. Set your daily schedule. I set my big 3 every morning. Okay. Those are the 3 most impactful things that I have to do in that day that I know are going to make the most impact for that day. It's a part of the 20-80 Pareto principle. Okay. I take 20% of my tasks that I have to do for the day. Those are the most important, the most impactful, because they're going to give me 80% of the output and impact. Okay. Doesn't mean I'm only doing 3 things. It just means that they're the most important things. Here's the key. My big 3, and sometimes it's 4, have to have time on my schedule. If I have big 3 and I don't have them on my schedule, then they're not important enough. When I put my big 3 and I settle on those, I give them time on my schedule. That way I'm saying this is important and I'm giving it time. I'm making a commitment of time, talents, and treasures when I do that. Because you can say it's important, but if you don't put time on your schedule, it's really not that important. And the smallest little wave is going to knock you over and you're going to get off course. Okay. The other thing is I journal. I start with 3 questions every morning. The first thing is, what am I thankful for? And I write it down. Here are the things that I'm thankful for this morning, because a thankful heart's a cheerful heart that gets me going in the right mindset. Second question I ask is, who am I going to serve or add value to today? And I actually write the names down. Who do I want to add value or serve today? And the third one is really one that goes on for the entire days, is what have I learned today? Because that's the question that I'll finish the day off with as I close out my day. Okay. And then the outcome of this habit is it sets the conditions for my daily wins. What's important now? Win. What's important now? Right? It's a matter of priorities. Okay. It's a way to grow my influence and grow my business. Okay. Warren Buffett has the quote right there, schedule your personality. What does that mean? Hey, look, this is my way. This is a way. It's not the only way. You have to know yourself, figure out your personality, and adjust your schedule and make your schedule accordingly. Okay. But just to say, well, I'm just not that, disciplined to do that. Okay. Well, again, show me your scheduling checkbook. I'm going to show you your priorities. If you want to be successful in this business, you're going to have to be disciplined in certain things. If not, it's either going to take a long time, it's going to be painful, or you're just not going to succeed at all, period. And you're just going to be wasting your time. Okay. So you have to be disciplined in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay, the next thing is the end day habits. The end day habits is really, okay, and this is a little different when it comes to network marketing and working at home remotely, because you got to decide when your end of work day is. Okay, I'm not putting a time limit to this. You just have to figure that out. The key aspect to the end day habits is healthy boundaries. You got to have healthy boundaries established for your personal and business life. Now, it doesn't mean you always that. Sometimes you're surging, right? Maybe you're in the middle of a 90-day sprint because you're really trying to grow fast, hard, and all that. And that's fine, as long as you're aware of that and you make a conscious choice to do that. But then afterwards, how are you going to sustain? Because going at a super high rate 90 days at a time is not sustainable. You're going to have to give yourself breaks. You're going to have to do that band of excellence where it comes up and down. You're going to turn the rheostat a little bit and see where you need to change. So it's okay to surge, but then figure out how you're going to then level out and sustain for a little bit before you have to surge again. Okay. In the Army, we used to have something called ITC, the intensive training cycle. We knew when ITC was coming up because we were about ready to deploy. And it was anywhere from 6, maybe to 9 months before deployment. And we all got together. We knew what the plan was, and we knew where we were going to surge, when we were going to be out in the field for 30 days at a time, when we were going to be away from our beds and our families so that we can prepare our minds and our families before we headed out the door for a deployment. Okay, so you have to figure out what that is and how you gauge success and when enough is enough for you. Okay, so ideas here is score yourself, right? How are you doing with that? How are you doing with the boundaries? How are you accomplishing your big 3? And are you doing your weekly accountability meetings? With the things you write in a journal, with the lessons learned, what are you doing with that? Or are they just down in writing? You're not doing anything about it. And you might be just writing it down and not reflecting and taking action for it. Okay? And how do you need to adjust for the next day and the next week? It's a good way to spend it. So my end day habit is that last question that I have is, what have I learned today? And I take some time, and sometimes I'm not. Lately, I'll be honest, I haven't been that good with it, and I know it, and I haven't been as productive. So I have to get back focused, where I give myself at least 30 minutes to think, hey, what have I learned today? And what am I going to do about that? Do I need to change something? Do I need to apply something? Do I need to teach something? Okay. And then the outcome is it ensures accountability. It captures my lessons learned so I can adjust my habits, and it sets my next day's big 3, because at the end of that day, I'm already thinking, I already know, hey, what's the next day's big 3 already? What are those initial income producing activities that I got to do next week based on the schedule I have? And for me, because I have a full-time job of coaching, it might be that I'm doing a 5-hour workshop and I can't do my IPA stuff until the evening or the afternoon. If I'm doing a full day workshop, I might not get to any phone calls. So then I have to switch. Okay, then I just focus on messages, reconnecting on text, maybe sending audio messages during breaks, the nooks and crannies. Where can I work in the nooks and crannies? Okay. And then the last thing for me is the evening habits. Why is this important to me? Because that's my boundary. That's where I can take care not only of myself, so I don't go uber into too much work, and then I focus on my family. Not that this is the only time I focus on my family, but they get uninterrupted time and focus from me there. And it also gives me the opportunity to power down, okay? Because I have to power down if I'm gonna get a good night's rest. If I don't power down and I don't get great sleep, I'm not gonna be at my best the next day, okay? So some ideas here is reconnecting with family, right? Family dinner together. For my family and I, family dinner is like a non-negotiable, okay? It's a phone-free zone. We're focused on each other, and we try to do it at least 5 nights a week. Why? Because growing up, I can't remember a time where I had family dinner with my family. I can't remember a single time. And it caused issues. I mean, I had a broken family. So did my wife. And we don't want that for our sons. And we don't want to set that example. So we do family dinners together. And then I try to read 20 minutes in the evening. Something that I've learned from Ryan here recently is doing my devotional in the evenings. So I start my morning with God and I end my day with God. And it's just a great way to get me some great sleep in the evening, because it enables myself, family, mind, and body to have those healthy boundaries to be at my best for the next day. Okay. So here's an example of how I track my discipline day. This is on my desktop, okay? And my dream life is there on the top left. Those are the 3 things that I have to have, I would want to have, and I kind of already do have a little bit. It's I focus on God, I focus on people, and it's fueled by financial freedom. That's my dream life. And there's a lot more details there. And if you ever want to know, just give me a call. I'll give you some more details on each one of those. But here's a reminder of my daily habits, okay? To grow myself in my faith, I got to do my jam time. I got to do my PRT is physical readiness training. So it's my exercise time that I do at least 3 times a week. Yeah, I don't have to work out every day anymore. Nope. I just go hard for 3 days a week, you know? And my wife has a spin cycle now, so I'm going to get on that too. So there you go. And then I do my startup ritual. I do my journal, I think journal, review ACCT. So for me, and really I've changed that to 1C, because I learned from John Maxwell. It's what do I need to apply? What do I need to change? What do I need to teach? So it allows me to reflect, how to act, okay? And then my shutdown ritual, I go with the question, what have I learned? I have dinner with my family, pray with my wife and my boys, and I do that short devo. And then on the top right, those are just daily win tactics that I use to stay connected to folks. I send out cards. Try to send out 5 cards a day, Monday through Friday. I do 5 coaching touches because I have somewhere from 70 to 100 candidates that I'm coaching. So I like to just stay in touch with them. It might just be a text. It might be a blog. It might just be an email. How can I help you? It's just a touch to let them know I'm thinking about it. And then make 1 life-giving call. I try to call and have a deep conversation with somebody at least once a day, time permitting. Okay. All right. So what's the challenge? So 3 weeks into it now, you need to continue planning your 12-week year. You need to be preparing for that first 21-day sprint that starts next week. And I want to challenge you to establish your disciplined daily habits for compounding success. If you don't have a plan, then you don't really have a road to be on. And like Zig Ziglar says, how can you hit a target that you cannot see? Okay. So with that.